President Trump is now all in on backing the accused sexual predator running for Senate in Alabama and offering sympathy for a former top aide who lied to the FBI, making clear once again what Trump really means when he says he's tough on crime. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. During the campaign, Trump repeatedly cast himself as the candidate who would be tough on crime, using one Nixonian phrase in particular.
We need law and order in our country. I am the law and order candidate. I will restore law and order. Law and order. Law and order. We have to bring back law and order.
That would have been a great campaign promise if he meant the TV show.
We're going to bring back law and order and also look for all new episodes of Freaks and Geeks.
Although in a way, Trump was right 10 months into his presidency, and his administration is already being investigated by Sam Waterston. Trump, of course, has routinely lied about rising crime levels and promised that only he could restore law and order. But not only has he lied about the crime stats, he's also been very specific about who he claims is responsible for those crimes.
They want to have illegal immigrants pouring into our country, bringing with them crime, tremendous amounts of crime. We don't want to have that. We want to have a great, beautiful, crime-free country. When I talk about immigration and when I talk about illegal immigration and all the problems with crime, illegal immigration also brings with it massive crime. We want strong borders. We don't want drugs coming in. We don't want crime coming in. And illegal immigration. Stop the massive inflow of refugees. Reduce surging crime. So when I said we have to have a moratorium, we have to have a ban until we find out what's going on, I took a tremendous amount of heat. And now everyone's sort of saying Trump is right.
No one is saying Trump is right. The only time anyone's ever said Trump is right is on the golf course. Where did the president's ball go? Oh, Trump is right. Over in the trees. You can't see him because his hair blends in with the rough. Now, of course, it didn't seem to matter to Trump that immigrants actually commit fewer crimes than native-born Americans or that refugees are carefully vetted, nor did it matter to Trump that he was wrong when he retweeted a racist infographic falsely claiming that 81% of whites are killed by African Americans, a stat that was completely false. And rather than admit that it was wrong, Trump adamantly defended himself.
He tweeted out that whites killed by blacks, these are statistics he picked up from somewhere, at a rate of 81%. And that's totally wrong. Whites killed by blacks is 15%. Yet you tweeted it was 81%. Now,
Bill, I didn't tweet. I retweeted somebody that was supposedly an expert.
But you don't
and
want
was
to
also a radio
Why do you
show.
want to be in that
Well,
zone?
hey, Bill, am I going to check every statistic? I get millions and millions of people.
You got it. You're a presidential contender.
I have millions of people. You know what? Fine. But this came out of radio shows and everything else.
Come on,
all it was a retweet. I didn't say. Excuse me. All it was is a retweet. It wasn't from me, and it did. It came out of a radio show and other places.
You know you're in a bad place when Bill O'Reilly is telling you have to do better. That's like Steve Bannon telling you to go clean yourself up. So Trump has made clear repeatedly who he's really talking about when he talks about crime, which might explain why when his former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, actually pleaded guilty to a very serious crime, lying to the FBI, Trump, the law and order candidate, suddenly found a soft spot in his heart for criminals while falsely claiming that Hillary had also lied to the FBI.
Well, I feel badly for General Flynn. I feel very badly. He's led a very strong life, and I feel very badly, John. I will say this. Hillary Clinton lied many times to the FBI. Nothing happened to her. Flynn lied, and they destroyed his life.
Hillary did not lie to the FBI. She was interviewed by the FBI, and they found no wrongdoing. That's like getting caught robbing a bank and telling the cops, what about all those people taking money from the ATM? And that came after an unhinged Twitter rant from Trump, the guy who based his entire campaign on law and order, defending a confessed criminal and attacking the FBI for its investigation of a potential conspiracy to undermine an election. First, Trump tweeted, so General Flynn lies to the FBI and his life is destroyed, while crooked Hillary Clinton, on that now famous FBI holiday interrogation with no swearing in and no recording, lies many times and nothing happens to her. Rigged system or just a double standard? Man, the new 280-character limit on Twitter is turning Trump into a beat poet. So she lies many times and nothing happens to her, rigged system, or just a double standard. Man. Trump then attacked the FBI more directly after a report that one of the agents involved in the Clinton investigation had sent some anti-Trump text messages. Trump tweeted, tainted? No, very dishonest? FBI agent's role in Clinton probe under review. What's with the parenthetical? He's starting to disagree with himself in his own tweets. He sounds like a tortured writer dictating a letter to an assistant. Tainted? No. Very dishonest. Reporting from Lying Media. Scratch that. Fake news. Let me see that. Oh, this is good. Send this one out. So Trump says he's tough on crime when he thinks those crimes have been committed by immigrants, refugees, African Americans, or his political opponents, but not when they've been committed by the people closest to him, like Flynn, or Paul Manafort, or Sheriff Joe Arpaio, or Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore, who has been accused by at least 9 women of sexual harassment and assault, including several who were underage at the time. After the news broke about Moore, it didn't take long for Trump to give him the benefit of the doubt.
He totally denies it. He says it didn't happen. And, you have to listen to him also. You're talking about, he said 40 years ago this did not happen. And I do have to say, 40 years is a long time. He's run 8 races, and this has never come up. So 40 years is a long time. The women are Trump voters. Most of them are Trump voters. All you can do is you have to do what you have to do.
All you can do is you have to do what you have to do? Sounds like a fortune cookie written by someone who is completely out of ideas. All you can do is you have to do what you have to do. Lottery numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after Trump's endorsement of Moore, Republicans quickly began to fall in line. Just weeks ago, the Republican National Committee cut ties with Moore, but after Trump's endorsement, the RNC is getting back into the Alabama Senate race and will transfer funds to the Alabama Republican Party. And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who just weeks ago said he believed the women and called on Moore to step aside, softened his position so much he couldn't even bring himself to say Moore's name.
If he wins, will you insist on referring his case to the Senate Ethics Committee?
Well, I think we're going to let the people of Alabama decide a week from Tuesday who they want to send to the Senate, and then we'll address the matter appropriately.
Do you believe that Judge Moore should be in the Senate?
I'm going to let the people of Alabama make the call.
But you are prepared to take action if he is indeed elected?
The Ethics Committee will have to consider the matters that have been litigated in the campaign should that particular candidate win.
That particular candidate? Did you forget his name? Because here's a phrase to help you remember. He likes to wear corduroy, and he can't go to the mall anymore. Of course, as if it needs to be said again, the allegations against Moore are credible, corroborated by dozens of sources and supporting evidence, and yet presented with this evidence, all the Moore campaign can do is call the accusers liars, as a spokeswoman for the Moore campaign did on CNN on Tuesday during a truly mind-bending interview in which she also tried to point out that there are still women in Alabama who have not accused Moore of sexual assault.
One of the jobs of journalists is to not just take an Academy Award performance at face value. You need to dig into the facts.
30 people corroborated her story who knew Roy Moore between 1977 and 1982.
The collaboration, we need to make it clear. Poppy, we need to make it clear that there's a group of non-accusers that have not accused a judge of any sexual misconduct or anything illegal.
That's literally their best argument. I can't wait to see their ads. Did you know there are over 2.5 million women in Alabama, and just under 2.5 million have never been sexually assaulted by Roy Moore? But the most revealing comments Trump has made about this race are about Moore's opponent, Doug Jones, a lifelong prosecutor who convicted the KKK members responsible for the Birmingham church bombing that killed 4 little girls. Trump has repeatedly claimed that Alabamians should vote for Moore rather than Jones because of their positions on crime.
Jones, I've looked at his record. It's terrible in crime. I can tell you for a fact we do not need somebody that's going to be bad on crime, but I can tell you you don't need somebody who's soft on crime like Jones. We don't want to have a liberal Democrat in Alabama, believe me. We want strong borders. We want stopping crime.
We want stopping crime? It's official. We elected Sheriff Tarzan. Think about that. Trump says he wants to stop crime, but he's backing an accused child molester over a prosecutor convicted of the KKK, which tells you that when he uses the word crime, that's not what he really means. He doesn't want to stop crime. He wants to stop immigrants, refugees, or his political opponents. For years, we've heard the Republicans call themselves the party of law and order, and now Trump has revealed what they really mean. Trump talks tough when it comes to Mexicans, Muslims, African Americans, and women, but if you're a white man who happens to be close to Trump or support his agenda, the strongest thing he can say is this.
All you can do is you have to do what you have to do.
This has been a closer look.